people like showed up. 'Cause that's
Oh,
what makes
absolutely, same.
this all the more fun. Yeah. So, hello,
Hi
everybody. Yeah,
guys.
Woodman Bobby and Gabby here. Just last minute setup. I know that Dino Fighter 234 has been waiting, so thank you for waiting. I know that we said that we were gonna do the stream at 9, but I had to push it to 9:30 because schedules basically. So but yeah, we're here to talk about the new Owl House episode, Eclipse Lake. Before I get we get going though, I just want to I've got one last thing that I want to do before I get started.
Okay.
So, just give me a second here. But yeah, Dino Fighter 234. If you would like to, if have you seen Eclipse Lake? If you have, what did you think of the episode? Okay. Um.
Oh, yeah. I see what you did there. Nice. Hold on, let me get rid of this guy here before you
Okay.
guys get bombarded by a bunch of buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd actually like to take a moment and say happy channel anniversary. I know I'm a day late, but heck yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Gabby. Yeah, it's been crazy. We've been doing I mean, this channel has been known as the Blood Moon Bobby channel for 4 years, and I didn't expect it to. I mean by YouTube standards, it's still a small channel, but I certainly didn't expect it to grow the way it did. And even before, and honestly, do you remember you were in the very first Blood Moon Bobby video? Do you remember what it
Was
was?
I?
Yeah.
I'd imagine either have to be like the Star Wars one or one of like the first butterfly show one, but I can't remember.
It was one of the trailer reactions for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So,
Ah,
yeah,
there you
interestingly,
go.
the very first video from a YouTube channel that's named after Star vs. the Forces of Evil was talking about another kind of star. Or
Yes.
which, have I ever shown you
Although not too far off.
this,
Oh, that's
Gabby?
adorable.
This
I
snow
love
globe?
BB-8.
Yeah, I think
I
I.
love BB-8.
Mm-hmm.
BB-8 is adorable.
Yeah, it's a snow globe of BB-8 that my dad gave me, and
That's so
and
cute.
yeah, so yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, it's just been 4 years, and even before that, we were like talking about movies and other like kinds of news even before I changed the YouTube channel's name. But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing because I didn't expect it to grow in this way. I was even worried back then it would just turn into one of those things where it's like I'll upload a video once a year and that's it. I didn't think I could maintain the schedule, but surprise, surprise.
I
Yeah,
mean, I still remember when you were working under the Kumite name.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
still remember back then. I'm like, whoo, so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, but I think changing it over to Bloodman Bobby was frankly one of the best things I could ever do, especially because the Kumite name I found is I picked a name that was really hard to pronounce for some people. The reason I picked
Really?
that, yeah, was because in like when I was a little kid taking karate classes, there's a karate move I'm probably pronouncing it wrong called the Nippo Kumite. Now, in my mind, this is like little 10-year-old me, the Nintendo fan, thinking, huh, there's already a video game company called Nippon Computer Systems, so I'll take the other name. Yeah. I mean,
I
back
thought it was
then,
pretty cool though, but
yeah.
I mean, Blood Moon Bobby definitely stick, and I think it's very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just a sign.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason,
Oh,
yeah, I picked it was not only to name it after something in Star Wars: The Force of Evil, but I also wanted to have my name in it in some way because I noticed on YouTube sometimes with people are referring to other YouTubers, they're like, "Oh, did you see the video that let's say Pie Guy Rules put up or Review Tech USA put up?" And I was like, I want people to like call me by my first name, not you know
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
I don't know Blood Moon Channel or something like that because it feels weird to me. But yeah, um,
And people on my end asking me about you, that's how they know you, and that's how they remember your name.
hmm,
It's just, oh yeah, Blood Moon Bobby, right? It's like, yeah,
yeah,
you know. I mean, because like between you and me, it's you've always been like Bobby, but
yeah.
then like you just obtain this like level up of your name that just holy mac.
Yeah.
That's like some elite status right
Hmm.
there.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I guess the branding strategy worked. I mean, it's kind of like the
Yeah.
same thing that happens to do you know Joey the anime man?
Joey the Enemy Man. I might know, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, because like I remember he once said I don't want people calling me the anime man, like he wants people to call him Joey. So it was basically like of that similar mindset. So that's how the name came to be. If anybody else
Oh,
wants because in that stream I talked about a surprising amount of career advice. So if anybody wants to like check out the that stream to learn about like the origins of the channel or even like the lessons I've learned doing YouTube, um yeah, go check out that stream. And also our buddy Steven, he interviewed me um I think it was a couple years ago. You could check out his YouTube channel Weirdy8 on the interview where I talk about like behind the scenes process.
oh
I
yeah, I still
noticed.
remember when we recorded that.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It feels like we just barely did that. And it's been
Yeah.
like how long?
Yeah, it's been like a couple years. It was before the pandemic, certainly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Dino Fighter, you were asking who's that guy? Are you referring to Gabby? Because
Hi.
like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, Gabby comes on your,
Yes, this is me. I am the guy. I am Gabby.
yeah. So yeah. So I mean, Gabby, we've
Call me
honestly,
what you will.
mm-hmm,
I'm just I will take anything. Just don't call me sir or ma'am.
mm-hmm,
We're good.
yeah. Yeah, a little bit about like how I know Gabby. We've known each other
Oh,
since high school. Like I've known
yeah.
of you since you were oh no, you were referring to somebody else, Donovan, or who
Oh,
were you referring to? Because I don't see anybody else. So just so
maybe when you mentioned Steven,
yeah, so
because
like
Steven's come out here on the channel like maybe a couple of times, but it was mostly at the beginning, like when we would go to his house. Remember when we got together to do that's the Star Wars video I remember. But we're just discussing the was it Force Awakens?
yeah, Force Awakens, yeah.
Yeah, we were watching. I don't know. I was pulled into the whole idea that um uh that Ray and uh why am I blanking out so much right now?
Finn
Ray and no. Uh
or Poe?
Kylo.
Kylo, yeah.
Ray and
Oh yeah.
Kylo were like cousins or something or
Oh
siblings.
yeah.
I don't know how I was pulled into that. I think it was because I was just not that familiar with the characters at that point.
Mhm.
But yeah, I remember that's the main video I remember we were with Steven in. And I know he was there helping record
Mhm.
when we went all together to Gallery Nucleus when you got to talk with Darren Neff, see
Mhm.
a couple of other people. Gosh, I
Yeah.
feel so bad. I can't remember names right now.
Yeah,
I'm
they
so
were
sorry.
Dominic, I have trouble pronouncing his last name, Bisignano, who was one of the directors of some of the Star episodes. Like he co-directed Storm the Castle. And
Okay, yeah,
this is
yeah.
why I kept decided to come back to Tumblr. Dominic knew who I was because he said, "Oh, I think I heard of you on Tumblr." So I was like, networking. So I was like,
What?
yeah, so
Oh
that's
my
why I
gosh.
still
Of all
post.
places, I would never have expected Tumblr, but okay.
Yeah.
Take what you can get at. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, and the third person was Amber Benson, who helped write.
There we go.
I think it
Yeah.
was the Book of Spells. That
That
one.
was
Yeah,
specifically what the event we had gone to was for, and we just I think we interviewed all three of them, right? Yeah.
yeah. We interviewed all three of
Yeah, we
them.
all three but Steven was there behind the scenes. I was there. I was a human clapper.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
was just like ah.
But it's still an
Ooh.
integral part of the process, and of course,
Thank
you've
you.
also
Thank
helped
you.
out with
Thank
like
you.
filming videos, like when we interviewed like Ricky Simons and the Invader Zim
Oh, that
crew.
was so freaking cool.
Yeah, I know we keep
I miss
mentioning.
going to see Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. I know we
I'm
keep
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I know we keep mentioning this, but it's just like, man, those were some good times before where the
They were.
pandemic hit. Yeah.
And I mean, I know I'm probably not this year, but maybe either next year or end of next year, possibly.
Mhm.
You could be seeing to return back to our lovely cons
Yeah. I know a friend of mine told
in a
me
safe
that
manner.
the Gallery
Uh-huh.
Nucleus is going to do like an Infinity Train event like in the fall, but I'm really kind of hesitant about going cuz pandemic, but yeah, but it'd be cool
Yeah.
one of these days if I did get to like meet Owen Dennis or any of the Infinity Train actors. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think looking at what Gallery Nucleus gets like
Mhm.
most of the time, I feel you.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been taking I'm not gonna say that I've been taking like really crazy risk or doing anything that yeah, I shouldn't be doing. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
I got fully vaccinated. I still wear masks.
Mhm.
But I've gotten to go out a couple of places and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people out there tired of being stuck at home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, likewise, me too. I know. So, oh, so Dynafly was actually referring to Joey, the anime man. So, Joey,
okay.
he's a really cool guy. He's this Japanese or Australian Japanese person, lives in Japan. He does videos like talking about like going in depth about like anime and Japanese society. Like he's done videos comparing what Japan is like in real life compared to anime, and also talked about like
Oh,
some of the aspects of Japanese like sociological stuff like the salaryman culture, like what's been going on with karoshi and things like that. So, but
I
yeah.
feel like I have come across him then because I'm a bit of a Japanophile. I don't know how proud I am of that.
Mhm.
So I come across stuff like that on my YouTube a bit. So yeah, I think I might have come across him. I think I
Yeah.
know who you're talking about, but I may be confusing him with someone else.
Yeah.
I'll
I
have to
mean,
double check. Because I look at a couple of different channels where they talk about that kind of stuff.
yeah. It's actually a really interesting channel to watch before the Tokyo Olympics, because this year I didn't see many, because usually during the Olympics like NBC will do like specials on like the culture of the host country. I think they did it on like the morning news, but I didn't really see it during like the primetime broadcast. So you're watching those kind of videos, and also Chris Broad abroad in Japan is a really fascinating look at like a look into Japanese culture. If you're really interested in like if you want to go to Japan after the pandemic, I would recommend checking out those channels.
Oh, for sure. I
Mm.
mean, I remember uh I got to go to Japan back in 2016, sophomore year of high school during the summer.
Uh
That
huh.
was what I decided to do instead of my quinceañera because I've never, ever, for one, liked dresses at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Nada. No. I'd wear them, but ultimately I'd just be very uncomfortable and very unhappy. And two, the idea of being the center of attention in the way that you are when you're a quinceañera, just I did not want anything to do with that. So I told my parents that, and they're like, okay, but what would you like to do? Like, think big. And I'm like, can we go to Japan? So, oh man, that was a crazy experience too. And we
Mm-hmm.
were going to go the year before, 2015, which was when I actually turned 15. But was it 2015? It sounds a little off, but um ultimately I had to go we had to go in the next year when I turned 16 because the year I turned 15, that was when the a really big tsunami hit,
Yeah.
I think that one like caused major damage to a nuclear plant. So there was a lot of problems with radioactivity and stuff going around there. So we had to wait on that. But oh my gosh, the trip afterwards was definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, heck, if you ever are considering to go to Japan, I'd say go for it. I definitely enjoyed it. Obviously up to you when you want to do that. If you don't feel too safe right now, I can't blame anybody for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable.
For sure.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So what are we doing here? We're
Enough,
talking
enough,
about
enough,
Owl
enough
House.
side
So
chat. Y'all
yeah,
are here for Owl House, aren't you?
yeah. Which Dino Fighter 234 was even saying earlier. That they saw the episode and that the fighting part was very intense. Which we'll get to that.
Oh
So
my gosh. Can I just say a quick thing about the fighting scene that I didn't get to say when we were watching the freaking episode?
go.
That made me want like an Owl House Battle Royale video game so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the sound effects and the way that it was all edited and stuff. It's like this would be so cool in a video game.
Yeah. I mean, I
Just pick your
honestly.
fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think it would be cool if there was like a DTVA, like kind of Super Smash Brothers game where like you could set up
Exactly.
a set where like you could have Star fight Loose or Mabel fight Anne from Amphibia or things like that. I think
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. They have King as a playable character. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to
Yeah. Yeah,
ah!
especially now that like King can do magic, like I'm sure he
Yes.
could use his super wah and cause some major
I know.
damage.
I had to take my words back because I know when we first were talking about it, I was like I thought it was like the circle it was like all around his thing, but I mean I think I ended up rewatching it and I noticed that you're right. There was like the whole thing with the echo almost that it looked like, and then in this episode they have the whole bit where Ida's like use your thing to echolocate the stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, so they are centering it
Mm-hmm.
around his voice. And just today I was rewatching the episode where they introduced the squeak of rage. And I'm like, they were building up to this. It was the
Mm-hmm.
plan all
Yeah, I suppose.
along. I mean, it's very convenient for it to work that way. Whether it was actually planned from the beginning, I guess that's debatable. But I mean, it's too fitting. It's too fitting. The more I look back into it, it's like, wow, yes, this is it really does fit him so well. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
sidetracked.
Yeah,
Let's get
I
into this.
noticed. Yeah, our buddy Kyle was saying a Owl House video game. I want this too. Which, yeah, that would be really cool.
Yes.
It's probably not going to
Yes.
happen because Dana Terrace said that the Owl House, because it didn't get to 50 episodes, can't really do merch. So, but
What?
yeah, she said it in a
No.
Instagram stream that that's how things work.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, that's probably why like Star ended up getting merchandise as much as it did with things like books and the Funko Pops. So yeah, I
My
remember.
heart just went like this. I just felt my heart squish. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
okay. We
but
got
don't worry,
fans.
Disney is gonna
We
use
got
that.
fans. You know,
Yeah, but
fan artists. You got this. We will give you good money.
yeah, but don't
Just
worry,
take it.
Disney is gonna use that money to make yet another Home Alone movie.
One and two.
Yeah, one and
Ooh.
two, like, okay, like maybe like, objectively speaking, it's not like the greatest movies, but it's like they're funny as heck. Like,
They
with especially
are.
with how crazy the traps get, like toward the end. And it has a good amount of heart too. Like as I get older, I appreciate the chat that Kevin had with old man Marley. But yeah, the traps, like, I don't know what it is. Like, no matter how old I get, they're just as funny as like when I saw them as a little kid.
They're just so outlandish.
Yeah.
And when you're laughing at him as a kid, you don't think you're going to grow up to look at it any different, but then you grow up and then you look at it, it's like, holy mac, you just let a kid commit arson.
Yeah, just like blew like causes an explosion in like his relative's abandoned home.
Oh yeah, I mean, Home Alone 2 is it has this very special place for me and my bro,
Mhm.
particularly my bro, because he when we were little, my bro was really scared of airplane flights.
Yeah.
um I think I've said this before, but Home Alone 2 uh was one of the things that helped him get more used to it. And every time we had a plane trip, because like we went to Orlando once, to Japan, and then once, especially with my parents, like Japan and Mexico, mainly after my parents were naturalized and all that, which took a long time.
Mhm.
uh but every time every time he knew we were going to go on an airplane when we were young, he's like, can we watch Home Alone 2? Because he loved the scene where Kevin was alone in the airplane riding on his own with
Uh-huh.
his tape recorder, listening to his own cassette. Because
Yeah.
I think in the he has a talk boy, right? And
Mhm.
funny enough, my bro grew up with a talk boy. He had a talk boy, and I had a quote unquote talk girl because it was purple.
I see. Oh, cool.
So yeah, we have a little bit of a soft spot for that there, just because it was one of the things that really got my bro happy and excited for family trips. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. We had it on cassette too, funny enough, on VHS. I
Mhm.
think we might still have it somewhere. If not,
I still have my
probably it was
cassettes of the
set.
first two films.
If not, the sad thing is it might have gotten burned, just because we had a fire in our garage and we had a lot of our VHSs in there.
Uh-huh.
We had a lot of VHSs. I mean, I had to pull a whole bunch of them out of my room, and that's why they were in the garage.
Mhm.
But then a car and our house
Mhm.
uh, seemingly combusted.
Oh.
And the whole garage just lit up on fire, and we lost a whole
Oh,
ton of
shoot.
pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like it was funny because I was in middle school, and then I went to school the next day, and
Mhm.
kids were actually talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that was my house.
Yikes. I'm sorry about that.
I was chill as heck. I don't even know why. I think partially because nobody got hurt, thankfully.
Mhm.
But my poor mom, she was so sad and so scared. Like, I even managed to stay in the house after they turned off the fire. It
Mm-hmm.
smelled like smoke and everything, but I just went back into my room, turned on the cable, and started watching SpongeBob.
Whoa.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna watch
Well, that's
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Yeah.
Oh, but then we got to, we got all that handled. We moved into like a motel and then a temporary house and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and we were all fine. We got everything fixed up and everything, but we
I
just lost
see.
a lot of stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
I know they're like a long story just because of like a VHS, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah.
Woo!
And yeah, to answer Kyle's question, yeah, in the stream, if you go to the actor who plays Lilith, Sissy Jones's Instagram, she did a stream, like a donation stream that had herself, Dana Terrace, and Sarah Nicole Robles, Luce's actor. And Dana said
Oh,
this
okay.
at the hour 7 minutes and 15 second mark. She said, "quote So funny that they don't do merch for original shows unless they have more than 50 episodes," which on one hand, like, I really a huge shout out to Caitlin the Disney Cat on Instagram. I'm so thankful. Like, she sent me that link to the stream. You go look
Oh,
it
for
up. But
sure, yeah.
yeah, because yeah, that was like a very mind-blowing thing to hear.
And
Yeah.
then these are the things that you end up finding out on your own for the most part about like how these things work, because you know we got to remember that all of this involvement with those behind our favorite cartoons and animated shows is relatively new.
Mhm.
Even with the whole sense of voice actors, we've only barely a couple of years really started to, look into who's doing what, where do they come from, how long have they worked, what's their next project, stuff like that. Because for a long time, people were just like, oh, it's a cartoon on the screen. I mean, we're not going to look deeply into that. And
Mhm.
now that we have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of people who grew up to understand the complexities of these kinds of shows or the impact that they can have,
Yeah.
you see more people getting involved in it and learning about the process. And I mean, with the good comes the bad, just like everything else. But I
Mhm.
mean, like, these are the kinds of things that it's what comes from, uh, you know, learning about behind the scenes. You know, hopefully, this will also lead to a lot of improvement in the way things are done, because this can definitely be, it seems like it could be fixed. How? I don't know if I have the answer for that. But I mean, first step is figuring out what the problem is, and we're certainly looking into a lot of that nowadays, as far as like work environment, or what's the word I'm looking for, funding,
Mhm.
freedom of expression, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and as they say, there is the calm before the storm. I also believe that when the storm comes, that leads to some sort of rainbow, I guess you could say. Is like the rainbow at the end of the storm. And from there, we can, even though it's, you'd rather not go through the storm, there's at least something worth it at the end of it. So hopefully we'll see some sort of resolve come from all of the crazy things we've been seeing uh, going on in the animation industry in general.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if anything, it's good insight rather than just be stuck in like speculation world. But
Absolutely, or not knowing about it at all.
mhm.
Like, this way, we get a chance to speak as audiences and say, "Hey, this isn't cool. Treat your workers better, or do this, or do that, whatever it is."
Yeah.
And yeah, better to know and be able to at least do whatever you can about it. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like we can do much, but I mean, we still got stuff that we can do, and as long as we get the chance to do that, and we're knowledgeable of what's going on and not kept in the dark, I say that's good. you
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
Better that than to be letting people get screwed over without even being able to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
or or getting a chance to work things out or something, because I mean, I guess we always want to antagonize, we always want to say, oh girl, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, like, conversation of any kind, I think, is a great start. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, what's the word, kind of like conflict
Or outrage,
or
basically.
outrage. I mean, if it's really bad, obviously it's warranted,
Mm-hmm.
but you're as an individual, one is the one who decides that, uh or if it's like like a human rights thing
Yeah.
that's just really
Ooh.
serious,
Mm-hmm.
then obviously, uh get mad, get loud. And even if you don't get mad, that doesn't mean you can't be loud about it, like, I know I'm generally a bit of a loud person, but that doesn't always mean that I'm upset or angry. And but it does help, advocate. Hey, I feel like things should be more like this, or we got this kind of thing that we could sort of work out. And using your voice is one of the most powerful things you can do,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the easiest things you can do as well. Uh, so why not do it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
I
All
like how
right.
we keep
So.
going on with this. We haven't talked about
Haven't
the
talked
episode.
about the episode yet. Like, why was it so intense? I mean, I was thinking of that. Like, my best way I could describe how I felt watching the episode was like that scene in Home Alone, to kind of connect what we were talking about,
Okay,
where
yeah.
Harry is trying to get into the house and he doesn't expect the steps of the front door to be slippery, but he like slips once and it's like what? And
Oh
just
my
crash.
god.
And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how I felt watching the episode, cause like
Oh
I've sensed
yeah.
tension,
The
but
tension
like the
was,
fight like
ooh.
was like it's maybe not as intense as like the one with Ida and Lilith in the end of season one, but it's like I felt like I was watching Mad Max Fury Road at times. Okay, it doesn't get that crazy, but that's why in the thumbnail I put this whole thing where it's like Kikimura versus Hunter and Amity. I mean, okay, it's not a bloodbath as the thumbnail kind of
Yeah,
made
it's
it
like
seem
a
like.
it's like a, uh what's the word? It's like, yeah, it's like a battle. It's like a, like a,
Yeah, but
clash.
what causes this fight? Why are Kikimura, Amity, and Hunter like what's this like what's it all about? And what is this Titan's blood? Do you want to tell us, Gabby?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the whole thing with the Titans blood is that we find out, while she's super sick with the common mold, Luz is messing around with the little, it's a mouse. I forgot how it's termed.
The mouse that like can project
Yeah, the
what
the little
Philip.
skull mouse.
Yeah.
It's adorable little skull mouse. She's like messing with his ears, like beep boop up, and it's like, shoo, another one of the, kind of little paragraphs or segments of the book starts playing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's revealed that the guy used Titan's blood in order to make his portal door work, and even shows where he was going to go to search for it.
Mm-hmm.
And she not being able to go, although she really wanted to. Uh, ooh, wait a moment. Brain fart.
Our friends, by the way, say it's a Echo Mouse.
Ah, yes, thank you so much,
Mm-hmm.
Echo Mouse. Yes, yes. Uh, um, Amity, Ida, and King. Yes.
Yes.
Amity, Ida, and King set off to do it for her, uh, while Luz manages to continue some archaic. I don't know if I should call it archaic or just like abstract form of communication
The
through what
Tamagotchis.
seems to be some sort of Tamagotchi like device. I think they can't call them Tamagotchi in the show for obvious reasons, but for all intents and purposes,
I just say
Virtual pet,
Tamagotchis because that's
virtual
what people
pet,
call them.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
It could
Like,
have
we'll
been
say
a
it for you,
Digimon for all
Disney.
we know. It's the same thing, right?
Or similar,
Except they
yeah.
fight. They're by the same company, actually. I think Bandai. Bandai?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like the juxtapose. That's why you have Digimon, and that's why you have Tamagotchi. Because one's like a pet, one's like
Mm-hmm.
a companion, a battle companion. But you also feed it and make it happy and clean its poop.
Mm-hmm. And don't let it die.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and in the new one, just for a little bit of a segue, because I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this. I know a lot of people are poop joke fans, but hear me out. Okay,
Okay.
so I wasn't aware about the prominence of poop based Digimon.
Poop-based Digimon.
About this because I went through a little craze. I went through a little, kind of like, mm, kind of like, oh my gosh, Digimon,
Mm-hmm.
and turns out that last year around December they were announcing the new Vital bracelet, which I still have here. I don't use it because I'm lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was supposed to make you do exercise in order to keep your Digimon alive. Now, one of the things that happened is if you were lazy and you kept using your Digimon, you kept it alive, but you didn't do a lot of exercise, it
Mm-hmm.
would evolve into the sloth Digimon. And one of the characteristics of the sloth Digimon is that it would fling its poop and it would use it as a weapon in battle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, apparently, and it's not even the only Digimon that flings its own poop, mind you. I then went on to Digimon Reiterized and figured out, yes, there's even a Digimon that looks like poop and does indeed fling its poop.
Uh-huh.
Fun
Yeah. Yeah,
fact.
fun fact. Dino Fighter was asking, did anybody recognize the first text before Amity turned that little device, the Tamagotchi, sideways?
Oh, I had no idea. I had no idea. It was all cryptic to me. I'm like, I could kind of guess that it wasn't going to be what Hunter was saying
Yeah.
ultimately when he was talking. I'm like, no, that I don't believe that. That
Yeah,
doesn't
I
sound
didn't
like Moose
believe
at
that the
all.
second Hunter said that. If anything, I was a little surprised, like, Amity. I mean, I know Amity's
Yeah.
insecure, but it's like I was kind of surprised that, like, she was even thinking that, oh, maybe, Luce doesn't, like
Well, when
me as
when when
much.
when you're raised like that, when you're like you need to earn your existence and you need to prove that
Yeah,
you're are deserving of love and all that. Like even if you're aware that that's not right, you can't help it. But when that moment arises, you're just like,
yeah.
are they mad at me? Please don't be mad at me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to
Um,
be fair, it does, like, because, like, I, have and still kind of have, like, that sort of, like, mentality as well.
I
Because,
I
because
don't
I
I
grew up in a
don't
very, like, academically driven family where, like, my cousins were, my relatives would always be like, my cousin got into this university or this one studying law. So, like, I felt that pressure myself. And I think, yeah, that's the thing where I have to, like, take a step. Like, this
yeah.
is how invested I was in the episode where I have to, like, hold up, pump, like, hit those like Acura and Integra brakes for a second. You gotta let your kid, like, let the characters, live things out and learn their lesson and just I don't
I
know,
think
I mean, I think for me it was just because like of how like tense things got. Where I'm just like, come on, but yeah,
I for me, I feel like partially it came from being the ex gifted kid that just kind of went down the rabbit hole.
uh huh,
Yeah, because like I went through this weird roller coaster where it's like, okay, you're not going to be really good at school, but that's okay, we still love you. And then oh, it turns out, hey, we can get you some help, and you're doing really good. And you're in middle school, and it's like you're almost at a 4.0 GPA right before high school.
uh
Oh
huh,
my gosh, you're going to go to high school, you're going to kick butt, you're going to be valedictorian, and then freshman year goes and you're just like, whoa. And then
mm-hmm,
sophomore year comes and just like,
ooh, yeah,
and from there, I feel like I kind of got a little bit of things like, I want to be good at what I do. I
mm-hmm,
know I'm not going to be, at least not at everything, or at least
mm-hmm.
not like the best. I don't, but I want to. Please validate me.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
I mean, I definitely get that. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if it's as bad as, like how they portray Amity, but I kind of got a little bit of like, oh, I feel you there, but don't believe it.
yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. So, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
and there's a whole other thing too that's different when you're seeing it for someone else and then you see it for yourself, and that's why kind of like I think I like these kind of deals like with characters and stuff because once you realize like you're giving this other person that's not you support, even if they're
mm-hmm,
fictional, and you
yeah,
look at yourself and you're like, wait, why don't I apply that to myself?
yeah.
And
It's
you're like, oh yeah, self-esteem. There you are.
mm-hmm.
We need to build you because you're poop right now.
Yeah. I think, yeah, for me, I've noticed that a lot more lately because, like, when I was a little kid and, like, would see these kind of things, I would be like, oh, that's just something on the TV. Adult life is going to be, like, super, super tough. But now, I realize that, I could relate to Amity's situation
Oh yeah,
in
and
that
and I
sort of
mean I
way.
kind of don't like it.
Mm
People, because I still even get it right now, and I'm technically an adult. I'm like 25,
hmm.
and
Mm hmm.
you say, oh, wait until you get here. Oh, wait until you get there. It's like I'm already terrified. You don't need to terrify me more. Like,
Yeah.
please calm
I
down.
mean, I've basically learned it's a matter of like, like you have a choice of how to take it, of whether it's, life beating you down or you get through life with, there's challenges, but you get through it with a smile on your face and you're willing to at least, give it a
Oh yeah.
try. So, yeah. So I kind of
For
realized that
me,
that
I
was an
basically
option.
yeah.
Hmm.
I ultimately said, okay, just do it. Whether it's kicking or screaming or with flying colors, just try to do it. Just do
Yeah,
it.
just try.
And then
Yeah.
just, however you come out at the end, at least you did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the whole deal of like, did you successfully do it? But
Mhm.
I mean, there comes a point where you're like, I don't care anymore. I got through it.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna give myself credit for what I did
Yeah.
because I did it. Um, and yeah, because then you have quotes like, I was kind of silly enough to kind of fall into this when I was getting back into Star Wars when I was in high school with the whole deal. Like a lot of people like to use the quote from Yoda where it's like, do or do not, there is no try. Yes, there is try. And that falls under the category of doing it, at least under my book.
Mhm.
Because um, doing it just involves, going through the act, right? Whether you receive the outcome that you want or you're working for, if you at least, go for the intent, that can lead on to continuing to do it and getting better, which I think is kind of what's intended with the quote. But a lot of people are like, you either did it or you don't,
Mhm.
which I think is kind of, kind of harsh just because, like, well, then let them keep doing it so that they can actually achieve, the result that they want.
Yeah.
Don't just give up after you didn't do it, quote
Mhm.
unquote. You know,
Yeah.
a bit of I always took that for a bit of a fallacy after the fact when I sat down and thought about it. I'm like, yeah, but going back to how this is all with Loose, you're like, yeah, no, there was something fishy about that where you're like, yeah, toxic, toxic, get out of here,
Mhm.
throw that away, off, out of the brain, into the trash bin.
Yeah.
Thank you. The
Mhm.
whole deal that Hunter was saying. Um, but I mean, as far as like understanding what the emojis meant, no, I had no idea. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Kyle was saying it was you are pretty.
Oh, that's so cute. I'm sorry. I just went on a whole ramble on your question, but then I mean that's adorable, and that absolutely sounds like Loose.
Yeah.
Like heck yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And then the other one they did say what it meant, right? Once who was it that told Amity to flip it sideways?
Was it King?
Was it King? I
I
think
think
it was
so.
King. And then they deciphered it. Now it's like, oh wow. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, danger. Okay, get out. And it's like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, yay! I knew Lucy wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
She too cool for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was cool that when Amity got a second look, and yeah, Kyle says that it was King who was like, you should like turn it
Okay. Yeah.
around. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that was really cool. So, but let's talk about like a lot of the other aspects of the episode, which we already kind of dived into, like this whole thing with Hunter and Amity, where
Oh
they're,
yeah.
you
Let's
know,
break that down though. Let's break
yeah,
that down though, because that's I think is like a good idea of like what people talk about when two, troubled people get together and try to work with each other.
mm-hmm,
It does not end pretty, as it did not end pretty in the episode, because they just ended up butting heads, and Hunter ended up getting into Amity's head, which I was really upset about.
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it was bad, it was good, it was
Yeah, good
good writing,
storytelling. It's
it was
just a
good
investment.
writing, but
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
you went there, how dare you.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, but I'm
Mhm.
angry.
Mhm. Yeah, so it was kind of like a thing where they were like, butting heads. There were times where they would like try to talk to each other, but then
That
again,
just went
the two
so
had their
bad.
fight.
Like that was just, yeah. I
Yeah.
was just like, no. Especially Hunter. I was just like, please stop talking. Don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
I kind of want to just be able to go into the screen and rip him out and just be like,
Mhm. Yeah,
stop
just deal with him Eric Andre style.
talking.
Yeah. Yeah, which
Please don't actually do that kind of
yeah.
stuff
No, 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 no.
again.
Please don't do
I'm
that.
not
It's
condoning
just
any
yeah.
sense of the idea of doing that to minors, please.
Yeah, no. But it's we're
Again,
just
these are
saying like
children, so
yeah. Oh yeah,
they're
no, 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 no,
young,
no.
young teenagers.
Mhm.
So, mhm.
But
Please
yeah,
don't.
I mean, yeah, cuz yeah, it was kind of interesting because like essentially both Hunter and Amity are going through this thing where they almost feel that like sort of need of like having to do all these things to like please their like a member of the family. With Amity it's her parents, with Hunter it's his uncle Emperor Bellows, which they showed his face. They showed Emperor Bellows' face.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, bada bing, bada boom. He's cursed.
Yeah, he's
Yep,
got this like
yep.
streak on like the side of his face.
Now the question becomes, how does he tie in with this whole thing still? Because okay, we got that he's not human.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but how does he tie in with this whole deal with the portal and this guy who came in from the human world and whatnot? Didn't he even mention that he had like some really nice experiences from his few times that he went to the human world or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
peculiar. So I'm here like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I imagine part of the reason he wants to like go to Earth is like it might have something to do with like resolving his curse.
Oh, absolutely. I think that may have a big part of it. The other deal is that how does that tie in with the concept of wild magic? Just in the sense of like, is he going to use this situation to kind of like get rid of it,
Uh-huh.
or what? Because they're also talking about using it to harness the energy from wild magic to get this thing to work, this
Yeah.
portal. So it's like, is it ultimately going to lead to wild magic disappearing or depleting or
Mm-hmm.
what?
Or is he like gonna absorb the magic from like the witches that he deems as like wild witches?
Oh yeah, that would be another thing too. It's like, you are not worthy of the magic. I will take your magic.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Or then give it to like other people as well that got cursed, or other witches that got cursed, like Hunter
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. We still don't know the whole deal with Hunter and Bellows, where that weird thing where they're saying he's his uncle, but they're also talking about like things about like, oh yeah, he told me that that the he took me in, and then like the he said the Titan has big plans for me and stuff. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. But I kind of wonder if that's just Bellows trying to, manipulate Hunter, where it's like, oh, you'll still like bow down to me because the Titan
oh
has big
yeah,
plans for you,
regardless,
even though I think he's talking, a bunch of BS basically.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Regardless of whether it's either related by blood or not, it's ultimately going to be what he's doing. It's just like, you're gonna listen to me. I'm the
yeah.
boss here. Don't
Mm-hmm.
forget that.
Yeah.
Uh, but that whole thing is still up for debate. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be a little note, but it's just like interesting to know that kind of stuff. So it's like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I noticed that
do we have
what
stuff in the
Dino
chat?
Fighter was saying maybe Hunter has been cloned. Do you mean cursed? Or I also noticed Kaio said I have a Bellows theory that says exactly what I was talking about. If you'd like to elaborate on that, Kaio, please feel free to do that.
Okay, we got a theory revolving around what again?
Emperor Bellows and as far as like what does he want to do on Earth if
Oh,
he gets
okay.
to go.
Okay.
But I'll let you know when if Kyle gets back to me. It was just something I saw in the chat
Yeah.
and I wanted to
Okay, no,
acknowledge.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I mean, there's also the whole deal with Ida and her heartbeat mode, which I'm still so hyped over that. Like, I'm
mhm,
not tired of it. At least, yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna be getting tired of it anytime soon. I love it.
mhm.
uh Although I don't know. I keep getting worried about Albert. This like the second time he gets damaged in an episode,
Yeah,
and we
and
don't know exactly how that works. Is like do the cracks heal
I think they
or
do because doesn't
what?
Luce put like a band-aid on like Albert's head like
Yeah,
that first time?
yeah,
Yeah.
but then they never say like, oh, blah blah blah. This is how it works or whatever. All of a sudden, poop, gone.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, Kyle was saying that maybe Bellows might like merge the Boiling Isles and the human world together to get some kind of like find like the cure for his curse.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him going for that. My question just becomes, how does that tie in? Like, where's the connection?
Yeah.
Like,
And
how
I
does that
feel
lead to the cure to his curse?
mm-hmm. So yeah, and I feel like there's got to be something even deeper than just he just wants like a cure for his curse. Like, I mean, I know Bellows is supposed to be like this kind of like egomaniac, but like I have a feeling that there's much more to it than just I need to cure my curse and make like my face look good again.
Oh, yeah, I feel like there's still that kind of deal of like, oh, this was what caused me harm. We're going to, antagonize it. And we're going to say, don't do it, get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of deal. Because if it's not good for me, it's not good for anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of
Like, I
deal.
can't even see it being a thing where it's like, I'm not saying I can't see, like, Bellows trying to merge the two, like, that sounds like a possibility.
Yeah,
What I'm
yeah.
saying, I can't see a thing where it's like, let's say he merges the two and, like, they defeat Bellows, and Ida is the benefactor. It's like, nah, I don't think so, because it would seem kind of selfish of Ida. You know what I'm getting at? Like this idea of like, oh hey, we defeated Bellows. Let's use what he was coming for on Ida. Like,
Well, I could see that being a point, but I feel like ultimately, as far as where we're going, if they were going to go that, it would be a whole deal of like Ida being like, but I don't want to get rid of this.
mm-hmm,
I really, you know, thrived uh through this experience, and I don't feel like I'd be myself without it.
uh-huh,
At least that seems to be where they're going at with this. So if they did do that, I think that's what they would use that moment for instead of actually having me to get cured. Because
mm-hmm,
that's the whole deal with this kind of thing, especially with the angle they're taking it from. There's this whole idea with conditions where it's like, oh, but we can find you a cure. we can cure you, you'll be better. But most of the time, people in the situation where they have conditions like, but I don't want to be fixed. I'm not broken.
Yeah, I
And
see.
I feel like Ida definitely kind of gives off that vibe.
Mm.
Which is why I feel like they I don't think it would actually ultimately end there specifically, but I could definitely see having that question of like giving Ida the opportunity to get rid of the curse
Yes, yeah,
and saying,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like, will she do it or not? Yeah, I don't think she would, but I mean, like, we just have to see how the story goes and if they even get to that point. But I mean, I could definitely see that where that kind of turns around. I mean, because it seems like Ida also is getting around without quote unquote magic and finding other stuff instead, especially with her RP mode. I think we're going to open up a lot of more stuff with her there, and then implementing it with sigils
Yeah.
or glyphs as they're calling it in the show. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we got to see where that goes. Because I mean, if Ida can ultimately benefit from something like that, I mean, possibly she'd be like, okay, but I don't see that really being the case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
turn into this, like, just this, like, I don't know, like this crazy, cool, feathery diva harpy lady. I don't know if I'd want to give that up if I had that.
Yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. No. I'm just kind of
which
thinking
comes
in
with the
my
curse, like
yeah.
that's kind of what the curse has been going into now. So I'm like, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to get rid of that.
Yeah. Or it could be a
like if
thing. What if
yeah.
it becomes a thing where it's like it might become a thing with Vita where it's like, do I cure the curse and go back to like using like my staff back like in the first season, or do I stick with where I am and like and become content with it where it's like I'm using glyph and turning into Harpy Ida, so
I mean, heck, I mean, for the most part right now that she can even manage to work out how to turn into Arbita, she can even fly now, which has
yeah.
been the main use she's been left with for her staff. So Albert's pretty much a pet right
Oh.
now,
Oh.
which isn't a bad thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as long as he's taken care of and he's happy, like, no problem. But it's like a
Yeah.
lot of the main things she needs magic for, she's already achieving on her own. So it's like,
Yeah, like she's, yeah, she's finding other ways to like, get around and kick
exactly,
ass.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's like the whole. This is why I love this thing because you're like, oh, but she can do this, but she can do that. If she, and you're like, but she's already
Mhm.
doing
Yeah.
it.
It kind of makes
Yeah.
me wonder if if she is gonna like see what Lilith wants to do because now Lilith is also cursed and having to use like lips for her magic and that kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah,
So
but the other thing is that they've both really gotten into the groove of management of the curse.
mhm.
What with the potions and all of that. I mean, even now that Ida is like quote unquote on good terms with this beast that she's cursed with,
Yeah.
she's still using the potion because it helps that. It's not that it's quieting it down or anything. It levels it out in a way where it can even benefit her. And I think that's like the key thing here
Yeah.
with the curse and where it's going, because it's like this is very much like a mutually beneficial relationship that has been created between Ida and her cursed beast.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. uh
I mean, do you think she's gonna name him? I feel like they need a name, right? At some point, like, because we got a heartbeat, but like, what
mhm.
about the little pet owl thingy? Like, I don't know if I was in Edith's position. I feel like I would try to come up with a name for them. Whether or not I'd successfully get one, I don't know, but
Yeah,
at
I
least
don't
think
know.
about it.
The like I don't know, maybe named like um like Lecky, one of the Snolts. I don't know. My
Like
guess is as
Hoopert.
good as it or
Hoopert.
Hootbert. Like that sounds like a ship
Hoopert.
between like Hootie and
Hootie and
Albert.
Albert.
Yeah, I don't know how well
Hootie and
that would
Albert's
go.
love child, Hoopert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's like when people do. Oh my god! I just got a mental picture. Get
Yeah.
out! Yeah, it's from the Mama No
Mama,
scene from that
no.
episode. Yeah,
So how do you screw up Flambe?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like watching that scene after I get done watching like an intense show because like I like to think of like the flambe as like my emotions getting out of control, and
Oh
instead
my
of like
gosh.
running
That's
down
smart.
running down the stairs, I like because it's perfect because Will's like screaming and flinging his arms and screaming at him, but it's not like a scared it's a negative, like what's happening to him is negative, but his reaction it's more comedic. You know what I'm saying? So I like.
He's even kicking at it too, isn't he? He's like,
Yeah, you just like what like kung fu moves. It's like, why are you doing that? But it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's easily one of my favorite scenes from that show. But
oh my
should
gosh.
we talk about the somebody who's really going down the rabbit hole in this
Oh,
episode?
I was already. I feel I kind of got sidetracked, but that was like one of the main points I was thinking about. Kikimura.
Yeah,
Holy mac! Like as soon as she started coming out, like it's the first thing that we get into is like Kikimura is coming in. She's like,
like I
and
must
it's
find the
like,
Titan's blood to like put your backs into it, basically.
it's like, wait, Kikimura, what happened to you?
Uh-huh.
Are you okay? You don't look okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
worried for you, and I'm scared of you too.
Like I've been scared of her ever since well, especially in the second season and how like she tried to axe off Hunter,
No,
so
yeah, but
yeah,
there was
so
this whole kind of like barrier with her as far as her maintaining to a more kind of like uh passive aggressive type
yeah.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's like full on aggressive. She's like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kyle says
get out of
Kiki
my
is now
face.
insane.
It's like this is my town now, guys. And then when she's
Uh-huh.
on the abomination cart thing,
Yeah.
and she's all like kicking her feet, like, I don't care.
Uh-huh.
It's
I
like
don't care what happens to Amity, right?
it's like
Mm-hmm.
what? Okay, savage,
Yeah.
but also very what's the word? I want to say cocky, but I don't know if there's a better word for it.
Yeah, I don't
I
know,
mean,
just
yeah,
cocky and
it's just like
intimidating.
cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, cocky and intimidating. You're just like, look, like, are you like, you gonna get your butt kicked
Mm-hmm.
sometime? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But at the same time, it's like she's gonna get so mad when her butt gets kicked that she's gonna turn around and like
Yeah.
rip somebody's heart out or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it just comes to show, like, about, like, how, her drive with the whole thing about, being, like, the right-hand person to Emperor Bellos, which is likely why she tried to axe off Hunter in the Hunting Talisman episode. So it's just the thing where it's like when there's the opportunity for power, some people are just gonna just completely go, like, off, like, the red line, basically.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Like,
everything fair in love and war.
yeah,
This
like
is war.
all that's missing is for all that's missing is a scene for Kikimura to just flat out say, "Give me that, it's mine! Give me that, it's mine!"
Oh, yeah. I mean, like if she'd have been there and if she'd have seen like the moment where the key is like revealed, that's probably exactly what she'd have been like. Give that to me. That's mine. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it to Bellows.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, but
So,
I mean, we actually don't get to see that. Only
yeah,
because
because she
like
got
gets
knocked out by the cart ride.
Yeah, but I think that was a bit of a well-needed reality check. So I'm like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna that'll calm her down a bit. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm going to bet that she's gonna be back to the same kind of like crazy,
Maybe even worse
yeah,
next time.
maybe even more
Like,
so than
I
we
even
see her
said in the
completely lose her
description of
mind.
this video, I was like, is she gonna turn into Azula from Avatar?
That's the vibe she's giving me. Like all we need is that her like really neat, tidy like hand claw hair stuff just goes like
Yeah.
Just like Zula with her, with her crazy hair when she's like really losing it. She's just like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Yeah, and when she
I mean,
does
look,
that
like my
big
hair is
laugh when she
usually in a
takes down
state of
Zuko
disarray,
in
but it is
Sozin's
really
Comet.
fitting for right now.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's so
if
comic.
if Kikimura starts going, you're banished, it's like, uh-oh. Oh, like
Oh, we're
all
there.
hope
We're
and
getting there.
any
Yep.
little kernel of hope with Kikimura is lost if she goes into like banishment because she's already like really paranoid about I don't want the Golden Guard like coming after me. It's like
Oh, that tiny little squirt. This is like that tiny blah blah blah. It's like Kikimura. He's taller than you.
uh
He's taller than you.
huh
Don't go there.
yeah
Um, Part of me though was hoping that we'd get to a point where Kikimura would be more like, oh, Emperor Bellis doesn't really even care about me. I don't need to do anything for him. I'm my own person, and maybe you'll have like our own redemption moment. But that's not really looking like the case anymore.
Yeah,
So
no, like part of me was like even kind of thinking, wow, a lot of like the antagonists in Owl House like have a tendency of like inevitably switching, but like with Kikimura, it's like she's like at least like in the character who's like very set on like the side of like Emperor Bellos and the more antagonistic side, whereas Hunter is in that kind of like gray zone, I guess you could say.
who was in the gray zone? I'm sorry.
Hunter, because like there
Hunter.
have been like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be Kikimura there too, but um my hopes for her just
Yeah. The only positive thing I could say about Kikimura is that I think my sister does a good imitation of Kikimura.
that sounds hilarious and awesome.
hmm Yeah, I wonder if one of these days, if we meet up again, I could like ask her to like do her Kikimura
Oh
voice.
my god, that would be great. I mean, putting aside the whole crazy power hungry bit,
hmm
I do think I have a liking for Kikimura. Like I think I like her as a character. Like she's great,
hmm
but I'm just like, why you gotta go power hungry though? Like
Yeah.
no,
hmm
I'm just kind of like, oh okay, you're not gonna
Yeah.
let me love you.
So
That's okay. That's fine.
yeah.
I'll
So
just be here.
oh boy. Oh,
uh,
Kikimura is just like
and Hunter, I can't help but feel like, and I know we're talking about them like they're people, but I mean like the way that they're being written is like Hunter is really coming off as like, at least for me, coming off like stubborn, like really stubborn
hmm
and problematic, but with like you're like there's potential there.
hmm
Like
And I think
if you just let people in,
yeah.
like Amity tried to do in that one episode, then
It's
he
like, oh,
goes on.
Titan's blood key, gimme.
Yeah, I'm just like, you
hmm
brat.
Yeah, and he
Oh,
wonders why people say like, why do people think I'm a brat or I'm annoying?
well, I don't know why. Gee,
hmm
why could it be?
Like even like Lilith like was the first person to like indicate that Hunter is this like bratty guy, but
I mean,
yeah.
he is. I mean, obviously, he was kind of conditioned that way, but I mean, like, he's still being bred.
hmm Yeah,
And we're
and
just talking about that in the basis of like for what we see between him and Bellows, but it's like, ugh.
yeah, and I think the reason why, yeah, like I've also like felt those really like intense feelings too. A big part of it is I think it's also because like my mindset of this episode is like I want to see Amity get the Titan's blood, but I don't want to see her get hurt. And the thing about Hunter is that he's still that antagonistic character, but it's like I'm just like, come on, please, I want you to like, you're getting you can't. There are times where you can get along with Luce and Amity. It's like, nope, I'm a fight. Like I see
You
that
know what
Titan's
we
blood
gotta
key.
do? You know what we gotta do? Somebody needs to make an edit with Hunter
Mm-hmm.
and Amity, or Lilith. Maybe Lilith would work too.
Yeah.
Where they put their faces on top of Anakin
Uh huh.
and is it Obi-Wan? Yeah.
Like,
And it's like, you
what's
were the chosen one.
yeah, yeah. Like, I think that's why. You see, because like in which which Star Wars movie was that? I'm blanking on the third one. It
That was
was
the third one, I think.
Revenge of the Sith, yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
think those feelings that I was supposed to feel when Obi-Wan was saying, "You are the chosen one, you
You're
weren't
the
supposed to join the Sith."
chosen one.
This is that fight scene, because it's like, I don't want to see Amity get hurt. I really want, like, Hunter to, like, go over to, like, loosen Amity's side, but it's like, nope, I'm still antagonistic. And, like, the thing is, I don't want to see, like, Kikimura, like, harm either character,
Oh no, no, yeah. It's like that stray cat that can't help but scratch you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, just let me love you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a violent version of, like, the Olympic podium, where it's like you have these three people in the race, but instead of respecting each other, they're kicking each other's asses, and it's like the
Oh my
film Raging
god.
Bull. It's like,
Oh
heck, they
gosh.
should call
That's
this episode
what?
Raging Owl.
Raging out.
Although that seems to be more applicant to Harpy Eater.
Raging Owl House Battle
Yeah,
Royale. What? Okay.
yeah. And I know if I just said, which also reminds me, we haven't heard from Lilith since the eighth episode, which was yeah, when she was writing
Oh yeah,
letters to
yeah.
Hootie,
Because
yeah,
she's off with their mom.
yeah,
But I mean, there is a whole bit where she mails a letter to Hootie.
mm-hmm.
So,
Which, Hootie, don't you have a little something to give to King?
but wait, I'm lost.
The
I'm
letter
sorry.
from that character who kind of looks like King.
Oh! I'm sorry. I'm getting loud time. I need to start getting a little more quiet because it's almost 11. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, the letter. Oh my god.
I'm just like, next episode, please.
I'm surprised they pulled me in so well with this episode that I just was not even asking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just, and now that you bring it back, that's like flashbacks, like it's all flooding back to me, and I'm like,
Yeah, the letter.
oh my gosh! And then meanwhile, what Hootie's doing with Gus and
Willow?
oh my god, Willow, yes,
Yeah.
but the whole I got a kick out of how they mentioned lo-fi beats to study and relax to,
Mm-hmm.
and then whale noises and stuff like that. Like I've been into that stuff, and I mean not like hardcore, like oh my god, I love it, like oh, but me being in a position where I'm always trying to find more things to kind of like clear my mind, focus, or just let go of a lot of my running thoughts.
Yeah.
I've meddled with that kind of stuff in the sense of like looking around, seeing which ones I like or anything like that. But the moment I heard that, I'm like, hey, I know what that is.
Uh-huh.
And I find it so fitting that that Hootie goes for owl. No, not owl sound. A whale sound. I mean, if you've heard whale sounds, those are. I think they have the potential to be really relaxing.
Hmm. Maybe I should go
I
look that
don't
up after
know.
the stream.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, no, whale sound. And now I'm curious to see because they talk about how what if we put them together? Except I think they were going to put the whale sounds with underground K-pop.
Uh-huh.
Like, uh, no. And then you see them kind of remixing stuff. It's like,
Yeah, and Luce is trying to tell them, they're gonna go for the fool's blood.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
And they
yeah,
can't hear her.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, like, I mean, I was kind of taking that into account, but main thing that was going through my brain is somebody who's worked around, like, kind of like mixing stuff. I was just like, you're mixing it all wrong. Why are you doing
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
like my soul was just a little crushed. Not too bad. Like I'll live, but I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing too. Like don't get me wrong, but part of me
Yeah.
was like, no, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I had a whole bit with that because I mean, I don't do it the whole awful lot of mixing as far as like kind of like the whole kind of like making your own tracks type of deal. But I have taken like audio classes and I have helped my mom with performing at private parties, and part of that involves kind of like managing volumes, uh, picking the right kind of music, setting the mood and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like that. That's kind of like the mindset I got into when I was looking at that, and I'm just like, no, you're doing it all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, what else was going on?
Something I quickly wanted to point out was Amity's Talisman is a cat named Ghost.
Okay,
Gee, who
yes,
else
ghost.
owns a cat named Ghost? I wonder if it is. It's
Hmm.
Dana Terrace, the creator of the Owl House. I think she named the talisman after her cat. In fact, if you go to her Twitter page, she has like a picture that says, "I found a couple of like something like I found a couple of missing talisman," and that is a picture of her real life cat Ghost with like a toy like Robin, Hunter's
Oh,
talisman.
oh, that's
Yeah,
adorable.
yeah. It just
I
kind of
I I
reminds.
I
Well,
had forgotten that. Yeah, I'd forgotten that, and then I remember you mentioned it to me when we were watching the episode,
mm-hmm,
and that kind of you like I thought that she called her cat Ghost because of the whole deal with Game of Thrones. Because there's this one character, I forget his name, but he's like a really popular character, and I'm sure you guys, somebody in the comments or watching this will know it, but they have a pet. I do believe it's like a dire wolf, and they're
mm-hmm.
white with blue eyes, so they call them Ghost. That's why I thought she called him that. I was like, oh, Game of Thrones fan, cool.
Mm. Which I mean, I don't know about like Dana Terrace and why her cat's name is Ghost, but could be a
I
possibility.
just
But
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was the case at all, but that's just where my brain went.
yeah,
And then part of it is also because like I had a cousin, and he got like a white husky with bright blue eyes and beautiful. And he got him because he was a big Game of Thrones fan. He was like, yeah, ghost, but in Spanish, so fantasma.
I
You know,
see.
yeah.
So, yeah, but I thought that was neat. It kind of reminded me of how, like, I heard when Darren Nefsey was making, like, in the early days when they were making Star vs. the Forces of Evil, she had intended for Star to have a cat named Cashew, which that didn't end up
Oh,
happening. However, Darren Nefsey has a cat that she's named Cashew, so when I see that kind of stuff, I thought that was, like, kind of a cool reference.
oh heck yeah! Like I totally want to do that too because
Mm-hmm.
like that sounds adorable. You can be
Yeah.
like, you could be here holding your little fur baby, and it's like, hey, hey, you see that? You see that on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
That's you. The poor
I
the
wonder.
poor cat is just like, meh.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I also have like a cat wolf like for myself. Our cat's
Oh,
name
that's
is Elby.
right.
I mean, have you seen a
Oh,
picture?
oh, I've seen pictures of LB.
Uh huh.
Heck
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I
if
want,
my sister was
I
here, I'd
want a
probably ask.
pet. I want a pet.
Hmm. It does kind of make me wonder. I mean, I don't know if this would work in real life, but it's kind of funny for me to think. Imagine if Elby met Cashew and Ghost, or heck, if
Oh,
Cashew
that'd
met
be
Ghost.
adorable. I
Hmm.
mean, heck, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Part of me thinks like if you told Darren, she'd probably be like, oh, cat play, cat
Hmm.
play date. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would
I
be
mean,
hilarious.
I would bring in a cat too if I had a cat, but I don't have a cat.
Yeah, I come from like, like my family really likes cats. I remember like going to like my grandma's house and like, seeing her cat. And when I was like a little kid, I remember like my dad was like, had two cats at the time. I forgot the name of the second one, but I remember the other cat's name was like Patches or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, and my
see, my
grandma's
family.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and my grandma's cat was named, I think it was Cha Cha.
I love that. It just
Yeah,
makes
it's
me
a
think
nice
of Cha
name.
Cha from Umbrella Academy, but that's just
Hmm.
me and my parents they like seeing cats. They like petting cats, but they don't like having cats and cleaning after them.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I could
And
understand that. Yeah.
and my brother is terrified of pretty much anything that is furry and will move,
Ooh.
particularly on him.
Uh-huh.
So, and we tried to have pets in the past, but it's just never worked out. So I'm just like,
Ooh. I'm sorry to hear that.
so
Um,
I'm gonna take advantage though. Probably when I have my own place, I'm gonna be like, I could have a cat now.
you could have a cat now. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a cat, what would you name your cat?
I feel like I've kind of gotten a chance to do that. My because from the times we have tried to have cats, I was given one when I was a kid, and I called him Oliver because I was thinking about Oliver and Company, but he was
Mm-hmm.
completely differently colored. He was gray with a white belly. And then
Mm-hmm.
he left. He came back days later. He brought this girl cat, and he got pregnant and left her with us, and then went back off into the street.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, hey, mom, here, deal with her. I have babies now. Yeah, I know. It was freaking trippy. The guy was like street cat, like full on street cat, like it was in his blood or something.
Uh-huh.
We called her Bonita, which means pretty
Mm-hmm.
in Spanish. And then one time, and this is one makes me the saddest because I really wanted to keep this cat. When I was in Mexico, like a couple of years back, my cousin had been taking cats off of the street and he'd been raising them, and so I was out with my aunt looking down out at the window, and I started hearing this tiny little meow from out in the street, and so I go there. I find this adorable little black cat with green eyes and white boots,
Mm-hmm.
like a white underbelly, and I'm like, and so I ended up calling him Lucky.
Oh,
But
cool.
I wasn't able to keep him because my cousin was like, take him with you, take him with you. I'll help you get him, clean up and all that. And I'm like, Mom, can I take him home? She's like, no. She even
Oh.
got mad at me for even wanting to do it and getting upset that because then I was told to like take him back outside, and I did, and I was just like, I don't. And I tried to find somebody who would take him too. Like I went around a couple of blocks, be like, somebody be able to take care of this poor little kitten because I can't, and I really want to, and I don't want to leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I had to, end up taking him outside, and he came back into the house,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like you were supposed to take the cat out. I was like, I did take the cat out.
Mm-hmm.
And then my cousin comes in again. He's like, "Oh, can you take him out again? Like I can't do it." I'm just like, "Why do I have to be the one to take out the cat? Poor cat."
Mm. I see.
But yeah, then I was told that he ended up at my cousin-in-law's mother's place.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he ended up being taken care of. At least that's what I'm told.
Yay.
So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yay!
Yeah, that's really
Uh,
cool.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. I'd probably want a black cat, like a full-on black cat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'd call them though, because I don't think I'd call in another one Lucky. But I mean, yeah, cute black cat. Probably, I don't know, maybe Salem or Binks, because I
Mm-hmm.
love Hocus Pocus.
Oh,
So
I see.
yeah. Oh yeah, and Salem works because not only magic, but then also like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I'd probably either go for something like Salem or Binks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, although I don't know, it's weird. naming a cat after a human that turns into a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I mean cats. I love cats. I love
Yeah.
dogs too, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be more inclined for a cat. I don't know
I
if I could
see.
handle the dog. It'd
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
just
cause
jump all
yeah,
over
yeah, I
me.
remember, yeah, cause I have like relatives that like have dogs, and I remember they used to like not to go off on a tangent, but I remember they used to kind of creep me out as a kid because like whenever I would go see like my aunt's cat, like it would just be like so excited to see us and start barking, and like I remember like having to like run up to like my parents' arms, like this is like when I was like a 6-year-old kid. It was just like,
Oh
oh. And
no.
as a little
Yeah.
kid, I was like, oh, it's barking at me. I didn't, have that like kind of like headspace to say like, oh, he just likes me. He likes visitors.
No, for me, it's a little worse because I love them. I love petting them, and I mean, like I've been a golden retriever. She's adorable. I've been little dogs, but the weird thing is that with certain dogs, uh, I'm just going to put it this way because I don't want to go into detail, but I get them excited,
Yeah.
like excited. So part of me is like, yeah, no, I don't know if they'd really listen to me all of the time. And if they don't, then I don't know if because I would partially want a big dog, which is because I love, like huskies, even German shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me is worried that they could, like, the off chance that they just won't listen to me. And the weird thing is that I've actually been able to have dogs listen to me pretty easily. One time, uh, oh, this was after I came back from Mexico and saw that poor little cat too. Um, uh, there was a German Shepherd, like maybe like a couple of months old, but already like pretty big, at
Mm-hmm.
least compared for me. And he was hiding underneath a bush right outside our house, and so I tried to get him out, calm him down, and he starts coming out. And funny enough, I was able to make him follow me and stop with me throughout the whole street without having a leash. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, dang, okay. For like the dog whisperer here or something. But like the sad thing about being like, oh well, maybe he's just listening because he wants to, get help and stuff, so he can't really depend on that. But I mean, it's like, I mean, I'd love to have a dog like that, but I don't know if I'd be able to like control them when necessary, obviously not just for the sake of controlling them, because you might need to pull them out from running into the street or chasing cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if they're dragging me along with them,
Yeah, that's a lot to handle.
yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
talismans.
I guess, should we also talk about the very ending of this episode? Which, spoiler, I mentioned in the description, we were also going to mention spoilers, but should we talk about when Amity and Hunter get the Titan's blood? Which, yeah, sad trombone, Price is Right losers, or losing horn, bu- 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 like, yeah,
Yes.
now I want to rewatch that scene where Hunter gets the Titan's blood and just play that Price is Right, like, bu- 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 bum.
Yeah,
I
well,
love that.
that's just stuck in my head. That's just
Yeah.
stuck in my head. I
Hmm.
spend too much time on like TikTok and looking at old vines, so
Hmm.
I'm sure like
Yeah.
yeah.
Before we go there, Dino Fighter said, I used to have this fear of dogs when I was little until I got a Chihuahua and named him Gizmo in
Oh
2017.
gosh, I love that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so fitting too. Like, I mean, Chihuahuas can really be like gremlins,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
I
Dino
mean,
Fighter was, did you name, your Chihuahua Gizmo after the character in Gremlins? Cause, yeah, just kind I
that would
haven't
be
seen
really
Gremlins, but,
good.
like, I associate that name with the character.
You haven't seen it?
No. Oh, I mean, I'm
Have a
even down to like
childhood.
have one of those days like when the pandemic is over, if you and Steven want to have like one of those movie days again and want to show me Gremlins, I'm
Dude,
down.
I'll do it on like here or on freaking Discord if you want me to. Like I have Like, are we allowed to do that? Like, are we not supposed to talk?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
have
we'd have.
both of them on DVD.
Uh-huh.
I have both of them. I have one and two, and two is my favorite.
Oh,
I
I see.
love two. Also, if not, it's on HBO Max.
Oh, it is?
Both of them are on HBO Max.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
just
cool.
remembered. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah. And yeah, Dino Fighter said that yeah, they named him after
oh
the
my
character
gosh.
from Gremlins. So yeah, that's
Gizmo
cool.
is my favorite Gremlin. Well, my second favorite Gremlins character. My second favorite Mogwai. The only reason he's not my favorite is because I have a soft spot only specifically when this character is still a Mogwai. For the second movie, there's one called Daffy Gremlin,
Mhm.
and I just think he's just this adorable, hyper, super wired little, fluff ball. And I'm just like, oh, yes, I just want to like pinch his cheeks and stuff. And he's like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. But yeah, my favorite is probably Daffy Gremlin when he's still a Mogwai in the second movie. I was
Yeah.
kind of sad when he turns into a full on girl because I'm like, wait, no, but you were so adorable, tiny, and fluffy. What
No.
happened to you?
We're having a lot of
You
those
ran
like
right
you were
after
that you're not
me.
supposed to join the dark side
You're
moments on
not
this
supposed to
stream.
join the dark side.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
not
and
too
then it's
many
like it's big.
whoo moments.
Woo. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically imagine Daffy Gremlin as if they gave a Mogwai ADHD. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah, it's
makes this
interesting
sound.
because I remember like when Hunter does get his hands on the Titans. Well, first of all, how? I guess we should answer how does he get his hands?
How? Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
who, but a how.
Yeah.
You know, oh, right. I don't remember how this comes about, but it comes about that there was this deal about the key having Titan's blood.
Mhm.
Hunter mentions it, but he doesn't know that Luz had the key.
Mhm.
And so he didn't know that Amity that very day had taken the key off of Luz because she was going to try to use it for something. What was it?
I don't remember. I just
Oh, she's like, if I eat the key, will I make a portal and be able to go back home? And she's like, ah.
yeah, but yeah, the common mold basically screwed up Luce's
Yeah,
brain.
she was sick.
Yeah.
But then Hunter sees it on Amity, and he's like,
And
oh,
he had
you
that "Give
have
me
the
that, it's
key.
mine" moment.
Yeah, and then it was so weird because first I thought she was going to make like a fake one
Yeah, I
out
was thinking
of
that too. We were like,
out of
I was like,
yeah out of
please, please let it be
abomination
fake.
fluid.
Yeah.
But then I heard this like like how she crushed it in her hand,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, what? And the only thing that we saw about like abomination fluid going into back into a bottle was I mean, should I call it a steak or a shank? That's
Your
what it
like
looks
your
like.
idea is as good as mine.
It's like she made an icicle out of abomination fluid, but
Yeah,
maybe
and
not.
she was gonna
Yeah,
like
it's like it's
poke
a shank.
Hunter. Yeah. But then Hunter was like, oh, I mean, I'm gonna sound like Elmo saying this, but he's like, I know where to find you. Not in that tone of
Oh
voice,
yeah,
but you
he
could.
was like threatening him. It's like, I mean, now I'm thinking about how would threatening me say this.
Yeah. So
But
basically,
yeah,
yeah,
he's
it's
basically
like,
like, if you do something, I know where you are, and I can mess with your girlfriend too, and blah blah blah.
mm-hmm. And I do not want to see Hunter impersonate Robert De Niro's character from Cape Fear saying, come out, wherever you are."
Or no, it's like that deal from Wars, like warriors come out and play.
Ooh.
I'm just like, no,
Yeah, no.
no,
So yeah,
not
Amity was
one.
basically caught in this kind of like like I mean this is a grim way to describe, but this kind of like, lose lose or like either way,
That's like
she's
the
either gonna
cannot we
put.
cannot both win type
Yeah, you
mentality. I
can't win
understand.
basically situation. Well, kind of, which we'll get into, because
Like it's gotta be win lose or lose lose. Like there's no other option.
yeah, not in this case. But yeah, but it's like, why? What was that cracking sound, Gabby?
Well, turns out Amity does indeed crack the eye looking part of the key, which ends up releasing the Titan's blood within the key onto her blood. And we could see that there was still some dripping out of the key when Hunter was holding it.
Yeah,
So both parties now have access to Titan's blood.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the only the only silver lining to this is, well, at least it's not Kikimura, but it's like now it's just like, now it's just starting another race where it's like, oh, so this means that both, have a good chance of, like, coming off a portal. I would say Emperor Bellos, it's even like scarier with him because, like, he's got that, portal door.
He's got the
Yeah.
portal. He's got
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then he's going to have like the question I feel right now is like is Hunter going to continue on with this whole like, oh, I gotta do this bit,
Mm-hmm.
or is he gonna have that light bulb moment where he's like, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna give him this. Maybe I can be a good person.
Yeah.
Maybe this whole magic thing isn't so bad. Maybe I should use my palisman and treat
Mm-hmm.
my poor palisman right instead of, shooing him off all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of losing my train of thought there because, like, I could see it as a thing where it's like the gears may be starting to turn, but it's not like, he's not like there yet. I mean, that was why I was like, why did you knock Amity down? How
I
dare,
know,
like
me too.
there's just
I was
moments
like,
on these watch these shows where I feel like I'm a football coach who's like upset at like his
yeah,
team. It's like, really,
exactly,
you did
exactly.
this. I mean, that's kind of how like I approach things nowadays whenever I get like riled up with shows like this where, I just picture myself, or like because I photograph basketball games, I feel like I'm like that really commanding basketball coach who's like, you have to do this, and this to win the game and that sort of stuff. So, but
Yeah,
I don't know, that's
me, I
just how I take
mean,
things. So, but
yeah, I'm definitely on the whole like Obi-Wan and Anakin boat where it's just like, yeah, you were
yeah,
supposed to do this, you were supposed to be like that,
yeah.
why?
I
And
mean,
more so
yeah.
like when somebody's being nice to the character and you're just like, but they were so nice to you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I know I keep mentioning this show, but I don't know if it's because Mae Whitman plays both Amity and Katara, but it just reminded me a little of that. Do you remember the Avatar episode Crosswords of Destiny?
Which one is it? I remember more through plot.
When Aang gets shot down by Azula.
Oh, and he's trying to reach Avatar form?
Yep, the Avatar state. Because in that episode,
Okay.
they did have
Avatar,
that
the
moment
Avatar
where it
state,
seemed
yeah.
like, oh, maybe Zuko will be good. Like, his uncle's trying to talk to him. He has that chat with Katara. But no, he goes back to, like, trying to kick Aang and Katara's ass. And Katara's like, I thought you
Yep.
changed!
Oh, yep, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah. Which actually, yeah, looking back at it, I realize like now, why Katara was not very like trusting towards Zuko when he did switch sides. Spoiler. I won't say when, but yeah, but I did have that sort of moment where it's like you have that potential and you fucked up.
Big time, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hunter's definitely giving like Zuko vibes, like crazy Zuko vibes. I mean, even a little more than Zuko because he's like a little more kind of like a little more messed up, a little more kind of like
Yeah.
lost, I guess. Because Zuko, I mean, he had Uncle Iroh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so he had like a
Hunter,
family member like, telling, trying
but
to
yeah,
like,
it
believe
was
in him
really
and
good
yeah.
advice. Yeah, but Hunter's only got Bellows.
Mm-hmm. And the closest he's got
I
to a character who could possibly switch sides are like technically like his enemies or frenemies, if you want to put it nicely. So
Oh
yeah, it's
yeah.
quite a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I
I'm
keep
just
making
like,
these avatars. I think that's just like how my mind works with association and how saying, oh, it reminds me of something
oh
that happened in
yeah,
this
it
show.
works.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
cause
works.
yeah, just like how I sometimes make comparisons to I sometimes compare some of the plot points and characters in Owl House to Gravity Falls, which I know some people out there do that. Like I've heard of people who compare like Pacifica to Amity, or like how I kind
I
of
mean, kind of.
or Ida and Luce's relationship reminded me a bit of Stan and Ford in Gravity Falls. Or at least in the sense of
Kind
like,
of. At least with Mabel.
yeah, I mean
Yeah,
the
like Uncle
keyword is
Stan and
kinda
Mabel.
because like Ford
You
wasn't like a
know, yeah, I think the whole deal between Mabel and Grunkle Stan and then Ida and Blues kind of works.
yeah,
Just not blood related with Blues and
yeah. I mean it's not
Ida.
quite as drastic because like Ford wasn't like a villain, whereas Lilith was like one of the villains for a while until like she
Oh
switched at
yeah.
the end of season 1. But again, it's more of an association thing rather than like a dead on like comparison. So yeah, that's just
And I
how.
mean, like, these two shows definitely have a lot of strong connections.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other deal too. With that, there's bound to be, comparisons that'll be easily made between the two shows,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they share, Alex Hirsch between the two of them. Even though for the most part we see Alex Hirsch doing voice acting in Owl House, but I mean, it's pretty likely that he kind of gets involved in the story writing as well. So
Yeah, or at least it's a thing where it's like maybe like Dana Terrace like has some like influence to Gravity Falls. Kind of like when it's
yeah,
like when
yeah.
people watch like Blade Runner and like make all these comparisons to like Taxi Driver or like the Maltese Falcon. Like when I make those I mean more in that sort of way. I don't mean that in like a hey, you ripped off blah blah
Oh
blah.
no, no, no,
So yeah.
absolutely not. And this is why I'm clarifying. This is mainly because they're very close knit together. In the sense of they're not only are they in the same channel, but people involved in these two shows have a very close relationship in real life.
Mhm.
You know, I think I've mentioned that before. Where they're just like, you
Yeah.
know, so it's very likely that they're at home. And sometimes they'll like chat about it or something. Do they do it? I don't know. I mean, I'm not there looking at their anything or
Mhm.
anything, but you know, I'd be hard pressed if that didn't happen at least a little bit. Because
Yeah.
brainstorming, I feel like is always a good thing. So, and regardless, like Disney's going to see that and they're going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to take from this show that worked really well, and we're going to put it in your show.
Mhm.
So there's that as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then the fact that Alex talks about how there were some things that he couldn't do in Gravity Falls, and now in a sense he gets like a chance to kind of help somebody else really get uh their vision a lot more closely represented through the final work.
Mhm.
Because he's been through it, so he knows how it all works, so that he can help that person out, if anything,
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
however the case may be. So it's like, yeah, you know, like he knows how, like he can make things work
Mhm.
essentially for
Yeah.
the producers and all that. I mean, I remember that he came across a lot of hiccups that he was so annoyed with when he was making Gravity Falls.
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh wow, okay.
I see.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's not a far stretch at all to make any kind of comparison, particularly between Gravity Falls and Owl House.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. But
And
yeah,
mhm.
I guess overall we could sum up Eclipse Lake. I mean, overall I thought it was pretty is a
Wait,
pretty
wait, wait,
what
wait, 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 wait. We didn't talk about Ida.
Ida? Oh yeah, yeah. With how
Yeah,
yeah, the subplot where she's trying to turn back into Harpy Ida.
and how she eventually gets to it.
Mhm.
Because I think we were starting to get there, but then we got sidetracked. Because there's a part where Albert gets stuck and he's about to get cracked, which is why I got on the whole point about like how this is like the second episode that happens in, and Ida basically has been trying to turn into Harpy Ida at will, but not being able to until she closes her eyes and she starts like falling into the curse and she starts talking with this little creature that appears to her, or at least that's what we can deduce from the past, depictions we've seen.
Yeah.
And we see her with her eyes closed, and she makes a deal with whatever this is she's talking to. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what the deal is ends up being pretty kind of in a way simple, but just kind of really weird. And that like, how many voles was it? Ended up being like eating 6 voles.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, I was wondering
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Because then
Yeah.
she says at the end, she's like, "Oh, yeah, but I had to keep my end of the bargain."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because King was like, "She ate 6 voles on the way here." She's like, "I had to keep my part of the bargain."
Mm-hmm.
But making that agreement with this creature ends up letting her turn into Harpy Ida.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. And she goes in and she flies and she helps everybody out, and then they go home. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
This is
very
why I
brief,
love
but it was still
Harpy Ida.
cool to see because like she does like a spin kick on like one of the soldiers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like, let's see what we can do. And she's like,
Yeah. So it was, yeah, it was good to see Harpy in action.
absolutely. I was waiting for that. Like, and I'm excited to see more of that because, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool, you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, very clear to see, especially if they give like if they do a scene with like that's even more extensive where they could like go into like detail and show like her different abilities. Kind of like again to make a comparison to another show when Star fought Meteora, it was the first time she was able to use magic without a wand. So it's like what can
Mm.
Harpy to do on top of that,
Oh heck
spin
yeah.
kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. Like, hopefully, we'll see more stuff that she could do.
Mhm.
Oh. No, no, I
Yeah.
think
The
that's
only
it.
thing I could really think of, and we already kind of talked about this, is this whole idea of like Amity wanting to be like the perfect like girlfriend to lose.
Yeah, we can break that down a little bit. I think a little
Mm-hmm.
more, just in the sense of like, there is that whole deal where she's trying to be like, oh, I'm a good girlfriend, and blah, I gotta prove it, and blah blah blah. But I mean, I think that delves into the whole deal with Hunter. It's like, yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to listen to people who tell you that what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Break the cycle. That's about it.
Yeah, and when she sees all those messages, and it turns out, that's like, oh, Luce has been sending those like messages to me on my Tamagotchi.
Yeah, and that's how we get to the whole deal between her and Hunter, where she tries to give Hunter a chance to be like, hey, let somebody help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to trust people like I'm learning to trust my girlfriend. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no.
Like, not yet. We're not there yet. So yeah. I think it is like coming because like Hunter has like a good chance of like eventually turning, but it's like because like what I said earlier in the stream, I have to like hit the brakes and say not yet, not yet. It's like
Yeah,
oh,
not
but I
yet.
wanted to.
I was kind of hoping it would work out, but
Hmm.
I mean,
But yeah, welcome to character development, basically.
character development.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much
Hmm.
about it. I'm going to bide my time.
Yeah.
As long as we're still going on that track, I think I'll be okay.
Hmm. I mean, like, the worst that could happen, like, Hunter definitely is not in, like, the same zone as, like, a certain character from Infinity Train I keep bringing up, but it's, like,
Oh yeah.
like, he's certainly not, like, in that zone where it's just, like, yeah, no, you're too far gone, I can't see you being redeemed, but it's, like, I still think, like, yeah, he's got a chance, I guess, I mean, this is a weird comparison camaraderie I saw with Ida, whereas in this case, it's more so there are times where you know, yeah, like Amity's trying to teach the lesson she's learning to Hunter, and in the hunting palisman episode, where very briefly, he's helping Luce save all those palismen and from Emperor Bellus's hometown buffet, if you will.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Why do I just picture
Oh,
it? Or I almost actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just stupid like that when I make that comparison. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the whole fun of it for me. So I'm just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I was like before Ida and Lilith were on good terms. I like that one part where she kind of gets a soft when Lilith gets a soft spot right before she's going to beat Ida, um, in that in the convention episode. I don't know why I kind of giggle just because it's like you love your sister,
Yeah.
you know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like the part where it's
Uh,
like, oh, there is like, they still have that connection because up until that point it
yeah.
was like, there were, like butting heads, but it was like the first time we saw that, even though they've gone like on different sides, they're still, like siblings at the end of the day.
Yeah. Except for Kaneda taking advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. And like throwing, yeah, the hex mix.
Like, yeah, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really funny
Oh
too.
my god. At least
Oh,
she didn't pull a loose like at the first episode. She was like, eat this, sucker.
yeah.
I don't know why. I just gets I enjoy that part in the first episode so much whenever she gets to say that. I'm just like I kind of wish she kind of done it a little more because I found it hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But also I'm very easily amused. So there's that.
I see. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we could really sum up our thoughts on Eclipse Lake. So, yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Definitely, like, raised the stakes quite a bit. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing, if Hunter is going to switch sides. It does still leave on that kind of like, I guess you could say, like, kind of bitterish note where it's like, oh, but both of them got the Titan's blood. But yeah, overall, I am
Oh yeah,
interested in seeing what
absolutely.
happens next, and also wondering if Kikimura is going to get even more like crazy.
I mean, I'm kind of expecting that. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
I bet on it, but that's what I'm going to be ready for.
Yeah, definitely. Because yeah, she's getting like increasingly like intimidating as the show goes on.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I would definitely say she went from being this kind of like right hand person in like the very end of season one to just being this like this like power hungry, like vicious character. So seeing that jump and like I mean I'm not saying they went too fast. I think it's pretty cool how they were able to do that and getting to see Kikimura like kicking it. When Dana Terrace is going to announce the next episode, hopefully by tomorrow, because I remember reading this article saying that there's going to be, as of now, there's Owl House episodes coming out until August 14th, and I'm not
Oh,
sure if
okay.
if that's like the end of the second season because the first season had like 20 episodes and Eclipse Lake is the ninth, so I'm wondering if it's a thing where they're gonna like go off like on a bit of a break, and then come out with more like episodes to close out season two. Because I just find it strange. Like, I mean, yeah, a lot is happening, but I think it would be it would be 3 44-minute specials, so coming in
Yeah.
the
I
season.
mean, I'd hope that we'd have another 20 episodes, but it's really weird seeing how things have been going on
Mm-hmm.
with the whole thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if the season ends up being a little short either. How short? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that is clear is that more episodes are coming. Yeah, I was kind of
Yeah.
hoping that like maybe there would be like an announcement like today and I could talk about it in the stream, but I went to Dana Terrace's Twitter and I'm not saying it's her fault. Like if she can't talk about it yet, then there's no
Hmm.
reason to blame. But yeah, so I'm just kind of
I
curious, what's
mean,
gonna happen. And there's still a fair amount left with like King and his dad, Rain getting imprisoned. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Lilith, who's still technically cursed. I mean, I wonder. Do you think she even knows? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there's still a fair amount of
oh,
things.
I no for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole deal with that. I think it. I don't think it should be a matter of Dana having to say when these things are happening. Anyway, I mean that's kind of not protocol, but as long as we know, I'm gonna be like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that is
I
like,
mean, I didn't even get to hear for this one until you like the weekend had passed and you're like, oh, hey, we're gonna go watch Owl House. I'm like, oh, there's another Owl House
mm-hmm.
episode. So I was like, I was just really happy to hear there was another episode because part of me is just kind of like, one of these days I'm gonna have to be ready. It's not gonna be any more Owl House.
Yeah. Although, yeah, frankly, I kind of go into a lot of shows with that like kind of mindset. Like, I think because I'm like as somebody that like follows the tech industry, I'm sort of used to thinking, okay, where is this gonna go like 5 to 10 years like down the road? Like, you hear about all these things like electric cars or folding smartphones. Like, I guess it's kind of like second nature for me to think, yeah, I don't know if like in 5 years if there's gonna be like another Owl House or another like Infinity Train or something like that. So, but I just kind of
Oh
learn. I
yeah,
I just take our friend Steven's advice of learning to like have fun with it while it lasts. Which,
absolutely,
yeah, honestly, I think
absolutely.
I'm like starting to like lean on that lesson more as I start to get older compared to like when I was in high school being panicky and just praying I wouldn't get like a C or a D in a class.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think with that it makes a lot of sense. The only deal here is just making sure that like not getting too comfortable with the idea of that just being the reality
hmm
because I mean, once you get comfortable with it,
Then it's
people
like
can be like,
setting
"Oh, we'll
oneself
be
up
okay,
for
yeah,
disappointment if
yeah,
things go
yeah," or
awry.
setting up for the allowance of it and for
hmm
the tolerance of it, and I mean, sure, we're talking about television shows here, but um, like I said, these kinds of things send a message, and you know, we got to let them know, hey, this is what I think needs to get more attention and more kind of voice. So yeah, obviously we're going to be absolutely happy you know and thankful and enjoy the episodes we do have to look forward to with the show, but also we got to be like, hey, we really enjoyed this, please make more.
hmm
Whether that means making more of that same show or making more content reflecting some of the stuff that works in this show, whether it be like the story writing, the characters that are involved, the design, what have you.
Yeah. I mean,
Whatever works. Just say yeah.
even like Dana like said in a stream that there is like a possibility that like spin-offs or comics could happen in the future.
Exactly. And I think, the more we let them know that we want that, the more likely they are to do it. So
hmm
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Like they'll
because
just
I
be like, oh,
still
okay. But
yeah, like part of me still kind of hopes that like maybe someday like Star will like come back and they'll do like a whole thing with Disney Plus. The fanatic in me is like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like an Avatar Studios, or did you hear what's going on with South Park where there's gonna be like Paramount Plus movies based on South Park? So it's
oh,
like
what?
that's really, I think, one of the most exciting things about this whole like kind of streaming revolution is when a franchise gets like that popular, they not only like come back with a special, but they have like a whole like treasure like chest of content like planned.
Oh yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
like what happened with Adventure Time? Because we were already like, there's gotta be no more Adventure Time ever. This is it. This is the end.
Hmm.
And then boom, HBO Max comes. It's like three specials, and you're like, it's like when the Muppets came back,
Hmm.
and you're like, and you're like, that is my call.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Already making my way through Our House uh on Disney Plus, so
Yeah. And
heck yeah.
let me
I'm enjoying it too.
yeah. Um
Uh-huh.
I'm actually gonna pull up when more episodes are coming to Disney Plus because so far it's just the first 5 episodes of season 2, right?
Yeah, it's first 5 episodes of season 2, and the next 5 were supposed to come up soon.
Yeah, a press release from Disney said August 18th. So yeah, so
Oh,
the
okay, a couple of
five
days
that
from now.
are still. Imagine it's gonna be. I mean, I can't. I don't think I could remember the names of like all 5, but like Hunting Palisman, Eclipse Lake, Knock Knock Knocking on Hootie's Door. Um, I'm forgetting one. There's still the one that has to come out. I forgot. I'm forgetting one. I don't remember the name of the one that's not coming to mind. The one with Gwen.
Good. I can't think of it.
Now. Oh wait. Oh wait a minute. No, that one's already on Disney Plus, right? Yeah, no, that's already on Disney Plus. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. So
Edith's
I think
Requiem.
we got like
Yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
with Rain,
Yeah.
right? Was it Rain? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Rain was the character's name. It's like, ah,
Okay.
Kikimura. Why did you have to capture Rain? Makes me
That
want
is
to
so cute.
do King's Squeak of Rage, which I won't do because it's like super late at night. I noticed Dino Fighter said, "Hey Bobby, it's 1:25 a.m., so I gotta go sleep. See you later. It was nice talking
Oh
to
wow.
you."
Okay.
And
Different time zones.
yeah,
I'm
different
I'm
time zone.
guessing.
And yeah, honestly, we're probably getting close to because it's like nearly like it's like past
Yeah.
11:30
Yeah.
here.
Almost midnight.
Yeah, and yeah, I
So.
have to. I've got to go to my job tomorrow. Well, remote work, but still, I got to be up. And
And I need to get back on track with my applications.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Which, thank you, by the way, for helping me with all that. Because, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ah, these kinds of things get me so lost.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so funny how like lately I feel like I've been giving like career advice to just people in general, like helping you with that resume and cover letter, or even in like my anniversary stream, I was kind of talking about things like when to know when there's too many like interests, like when one is like pursuing way too many things at once, or stuff like if anybody else is watching, go watch the stream where I talk about it in a more organized kind of way. But yeah, I'm glad to help whenever I can.
I guess I'll wrap up real quick. I mainly liked, I love seeing Amity and Luce again. Uh, I like seeing King use his new powers.
Yeah, it's super wah.
And Ida too.
Yeah.
Super wah.
Mhm.
Super wah. I just keep thinking of Waluigi with that wah laugh. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm still waiting to see what happens with the letter. I'm hopeful that King will still get his letter.
Yeah, it's not digested
Hopefully.
by
It's not
Hootie.
just Uh, Maybe it'll come out in a pellet
Yeah. I mean, well, Amity came out in the
and digested. Oh,
I
okay.
when it starts to get weird. So, all right. So yeah. So thank you, Gab, for coming on. It's also getting late. Hopefully, we'll get to talk about the
Thank
new
you
episode
for
soon.
having me.
And Gabby.